Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Thursday, June 16th. Going to see some warm and dry conditions over the next few days with some active weather returning for Friday through Monday, and we'll be taking a look at that this morning. Some key points we're going to focus on today. Due to the warm and dry conditions continuing through Saturday, we'll have high temperatures back in the 80s to mid-90s for your Friday, and several of our rivers are remaining in that action stage due to some recent snowmelt and rainfall earlier this week. Unsettled weather does return for Friday, headed into the early part of next week. We're going to see some strong winds coming through on Friday. Looking at about 40 to 55 miles an hour with some locally higher gusts. Could lead to some patchy blowing dusts, mainly across our interstate corridors. At least precipitation-wise, we'll see that return Saturday afternoon and evening with some isolated thunderstorms each afternoon. Valleys just about up to maybe a quarter-inch. Trace to hit down further south, and our northern mountains seem to do best in this event with about a quarter to a half inch of precipitation. Colder temperatures move in for Sunday into Monday. What that means is our snow levels will fall to about 8,000 feet, so we'll see about a trace to 3 inches of snowfall above 8,000 feet in the central mountains and eastern highlands. And afternoon highs, as we had said, is going to be cooling back into the 50s to low 70s for Sunday and Monday, so slightly cool for this time of year. Precipitation departs Monday to the northeast, and we'll have a prolonged period of warm and dry conditions setting up for the later part of June. I'll be taking a look at that today. Satellite view this morning, so not a whole lot's changed since yesterday. We have this upper level ridge feature that's going to be pushing further east, and as you can see to our west, we do have an area of low pressure that's going to be working over into the Pacific Northwest California area over the next few days, and that'll be what's bringing us the stronger winds on Friday and the precipitation arriving throughout the day on Saturday, later part of the day. Weather risk outlook this morning. Only concern today is going to be up near Rexburg. We do have it along the Henry's Fork flood advisory in that area, as well as in the Sun Valley area for the Big Wood. But for Friday, it looks like we're going to have those gusty wind potentials. So as far as a little bit more of a minor risk here in the Snake Plain, Magic Valley, South Hills with some blowing dust potential, but gusty winds for pretty much everybody. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we've seen the progression of those showers starting to work in with the breezy winds each day through this weekend. For Monday, things look slightly breezy during the afternoon, but not as significant as Friday through Sunday. And we'll see some continued precipitation impacts, mainly during the morning, but by the afternoon, evening hours should be clearing out with some overall pleasant weather returning for next week. Current watches, warnings, and advisories. As you can see, in anticipation of this system pushing through, we do have a high wind watch in effect for the portions of northern Nevada, Utah, and southern Montana. Going to be kind of in the middle on that, so we're going to be seeing some pretty strong winds as far as we're leaning more towards a possible wind advisory event here in southeast Idaho for Friday. And hydrologic outlook. So as you can see, over the last few days, we have been trending down in many of our basins, and the only one that's going to be remaining as far as that's going to be the Big Wood River in Haley, and then we also have up near Rexburg, we do have the Henry's Fork River that's currently in action stage, and those are the two action stage rivers, and we do have the action stage as well up near Henry's Lake, just for its being very full and over-exceeding capacity up there. Action stage rivers again, so we're going to be seeing these continue to fall over the next few days. The Big Wood River at Haley stays fairly moderate through action stage, pretty much through early to mid next week. But the Henry's Fork quickly drops off for your Friday, mainly looking at that large influx of precipitation kind of working out of the Yellowstone area. And as that kind of pushes through that confluence region, it should be dropping off as we get towards the later part of this weekend. If you had outside yesterday, we did some wildfire smoke as far as in the atmosphere, so it's pretty hazy out there, and that should push further north today. So as far as at least in the northern Idaho Panhandle and southern Montana, but could see some hazy skies still in southeast Idaho. Temperatures today starting off on the cool side of things in the 30s to mid-40s, but by the afternoon we are back in the 70s to 91 degrees in the Magic Valley. So overall, very warm temperatures for this afternoon, and we'll continue to see those temperatures warm through tomorrow. Wind gusts this afternoon, going to be out of the south-southwest for today, and we're looking at wind gusts between 25 to 30 miles an hour, a little bit higher as you get into the northern higher elevations. And warmest day of the week, Friday. So overnight lows are going to be in the 50s to low 60s, a little bit colder in the Stanley Basin. But for Friday afternoon, widespread highs in the 80s to mid-90s, so it's going to be feeling very warm on Friday afternoon, and we'll also see those stronger winds coming in as well. So those wind gusts on Friday, like we had mentioned, we do the high wind watch in effect for southern Montana and our northern two borders, but we'll be seeing some more general wind advisory, possible high wind warning type winds further south, and primarily across our higher elevation zones through here. So we're going to get some of those very strong winds on the leeward side of some of these higher elevation zones, so could see some gusts in excess of 50 miles an hour across many of our southern locations and up through the upper Snake Plain, Arco Desert area. Temperatures for Saturday do cool off a little bit. Overnight lows are going to be in the 40s to mid-50s, but afternoon highs do fall just a little bit while returning to the 70s to mid-80s. So slightly cooler for your Saturday as precipitation begins to work into the area. Wind gusts on Saturday, so another breezy afternoon on Saturday. A little bit less as far as gust potential goes for widespreadness, but we're going to be seeing those wind gusts primarily in the north and east locations of southeast Idaho. Wind gusts up to around 30 to 45 miles an hour. For Sunday, we're starting to see that noticeably colder air start to work in, and that's going to what's been bringing the higher potential for some high elevation snow in our mountainous regions as those lows get below freezing for Sunday and Monday. So temperatures on Sunday morning should be back in the 30s to mid 50s, and by the afternoon, feeling seasonably cool for this time of year in the 60s to low 70s, so a little bit of a relief from what we saw on Friday. And wind gusts on Sunday, again, going to be in that about 20 to 35 mile an hour range, so another breezy afternoon on Sunday, but nothing like we saw on Friday. And for Monday, that's going to be one of the coolest days of the period for the forecast today. So we're seeing widespread temperatures at or below freezing for Monday morning. And again, continuing that support for some high elevation snow in the mountains. Not really looking at anything down low in the valleys, but could see a little bit up towards Galena Summit. For Monday afternoon, though, we should see temperatures rebound back into the 50s to upper 60s, near 70 degrees in the Magic Valley. And wind gusts on Monday, keeping with that breezy wind trend, just about 20 to 30 mile an hour afternoon wind gusts. So winds will be here pretty much all throughout the period. So we're looking at Thursday through Monday, each and every day, some breezy afternoon winds with those strongest winds again on Friday. Here's a look at the preliminary precipitation and snowfall totals. So we're generally not looking at any precipitation in the Snake Plain. Going to be getting fairly shadowed by our southern higher elevations here with that southerly moisture component. But this event does favor our northern higher elevation zones in the eastern highlands and central mountains, where up to about a half inch of precipitation could fall over this next few days, late Saturday through early Monday. And with that, we are seeing the potential for about a trace to 3 inches of snow, maybe some locally higher amounts on the summits of some of these higher peaks throughout this region. But outside of that, no snowfall is expected at our lower elevations. And as we talked about earlier, we do that long, prolonged period of some dry and possibly above normal temperatures headed into the later part of June. And the Climate Prediction Center does agree with that assessment, keeping us in the below normal favored for the 6 to 10 and 8 to 14. And as we turn to the temperature as well, staying slightly above normal towards the end of next week. So as far as once we get this system through, throughout next week, we should be back in the 80s to low 90s by the end of the week. But as we get towards June 23rd through the 29th, later part of June, starting to see a little bit of a warming trend, especially, a little bit more favored above normal temperatures to round out June. So we're looking at a prolonged period of some fairly dry and above normal temperatures. In summary this morning, do that warm and dry conditions staying with us through Saturday. High temperatures back in the 80s to mid-90s for Friday. Should be in the mid to upper 80s for today. Several of our rivers do remain in action stage due to some recent snowmelt and rainfall, kind of working out of the Yellowstone area. That should be quickly wrapping up as we get to the later part of next week. Unsettled weather does return for Friday, headed into early next week. Going to see those strong winds, anywhere between 40 to 55 miles an hour with some locally higher gusts. Could lead to some patchy blowing dust. Not looking at any precipitation on Friday, so the potential for blowing dust is there. Precipitation returns Saturday afternoon and evening through Monday, so we're seeing the valleys just about a trace to a quarter inch. Northern mountains have that better potential for around a half inch. And with those colder temperatures, we will be seeing some trace to 3 inches of snowfall above 8,000 feet in our further north and eastern mountain ranges. Precipitation departs Monday to our northeast, so with those warmer temperatures and a little bit of precip, you could see a response in some of the rivers, not as notably as what we had saw previously earlier this week and this previous weekend, but we'll see a prolonged period of warm and dry conditions setting up for the later part of June, which should help mitigate any of those issues. But there wraps up your weather briefing for today, Thursday, June 16th. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome day.